What's up, everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody is rested. Hopefully everybody is healthy during this time. I am super excited. I'm also super tired. I don't know about y'all, but man, like, we hadn't gotten rain in quite a bit on my side of the earth, on the East Coast. But we got rain yesterday, you know what I'm saying? And it poured. Like, I was expecting to see two of every animal, you know what I'm saying, walking the shoulders of Baltimore City. But we did not see that this evening. Anyway, it was, it was real muggy, humid. It was one of those like chili and cornbread weather days. And it just wasn't it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it's the first day of fall. So we're all just kind of settling in, as far as that goes. But I'm happy to be here. This was, I would say, like kind of last minute how we decided to put this stream together, but it was last minute. At the same time, I've been trying to track this person down for about, I would say, like a year. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was about to replace my sister Haley for the new Little Mermaid for a second, but you know, she was busy with motherhood and a whole bunch of other stuff apparently during this time. So before I bring my guests on this evening, before I pontificate my point to the people, and bring my splendid sister on to talk her talk this afternoon on her side of the earth, evening. It's about, it's 2021. Sorry, we're not on a military base anymore. It's 8:21 in the afternoons on my side of the earth. I'm gonna drop the intro real quick. Let me do that real quick. They threw my ancestors in the ocean. Now we became the new wave, and we're about to drown this system. Every time I go in, every time I go in, every time I go in, I'm jealous. Every time I go in, every time I go in, every time I go in, I'm jealous. I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm jealous. I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm jealous. Welcome everybody to the Kid Casper podcast. I'm your gracious, beautiful, blessed, beloved, and black host, the kid that they call Casper. The KID in Kid Casper stands for that king of development. I'm that menace with the melanin. Reject me as I am, as long as he is still relevant. If this is your first time tuning in this evening, afternoon, on planet Earth, outside of the racist world of Sesame Street, hello, I am that quirky black kid that they call Casper. I'm a Christian raptivist. Yes, that means rapper / activist. Like, I love Jesus, but these hands make me super far from a pacifist. Like, I recognize I need Jesus, and people need to respect that 1 in 3 people got me effed up. I don't know. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, that's just kind of, I don't know why I really said that last part. I don't know if that was like passive aggressive or assertive, but I mean, like, it's Friday and it's been a long week. It's been one of those like 8-day weeks, 25-hour days. So y'all just gonna have to deal with that. I would apologize, but I will not. Anyway, taco enthusiast, owner of ghostthreads.com. That's how we pay the bills around here. Graphic designer, and I can't think of anything else. And I'm a drum advocate. I'm not a flat advocate if we're talking about chicken. I feel like that kind of covers everything. I don't believe in horoscopes, and yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, my guest this evening, this afternoon, if we're talking about West Coast time, this is a fellow content creator. Another, I found out a fellow, well, not fellow woman of faith, because I am not a woman, but I'll say a sibling in the faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say, you know, I expect to see a walk with her name on a star somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna have her government or her social media handles. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about social commentator. I'm talking about TikTok creator. Polarizing, and I say polarizing in a very complimentary way, because she always has a smile on her face. I'm like, this is the happiest. She rebukes people with a smile on her face, and I just think that's so pleasant. And I get a kick out of it, you know what I'm saying? She's smiling in the background, so that means that my affirmations are landing correctly. That's good. Everybody, my guest this evening is the lovely, the magnificent, the melaninated Miss Dollee. Everybody, thank you, everybody. Let's welcome her. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
This is good. So did it work that I said that you pleasantly rebuke people with a smile on your face? Because every time I turn around, you're giving somebody the business, but you do it in such a in a Disney manner that it's like, this isn't really offensive because she's being kind about it, even though she's telling y'all just got this work. But did that land correctly, my sister, just to make sure?
Absolutely. I feel like my job on TikTok is to let people know that sometimes their comments are offensive or incorrect or let's just say dumb, and you gotta let them know that their comments are like that. So I let them know with a gentle smile, and sometimes I won't even say anything, and the video just speaks for itself. So you got that right on the dot. Yes. Oh no, I can't hear you anymore.
My bad. I seem to have muted myself.
Okay.
I was saying I've tended to notice that public stupidity doesn't use an inside voice. So like what else do we really need to say necessarily?
Right.
So I think you cover that very well, because sometimes all it is for you is just eyebrows and like all pupils, and I'm just like, shorty she's judging us with silence. So
Like they know with the eyes. They're like, ooh, yeah, I saw with the eyes and the eyebrows and the little grin. Yeah, they know. They are. They know.
Absolutely. It's the auntie without knowing you're an auntie face. Absolutely. But anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, my sister, I would like to, I said privately, but I'm gonna thank you publicly. Thank you for accepting my invitation to sharing a space with me. I know we've been trying to do this for a while. I had you on my podcast about a year ago. You done had a whole child since then, I would say. So that's how long it's been. Yeah, not a half, but a whole baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right, a whole baby.
You know what I'm saying? So this would be kind of good to not only, just kind of keep track of milestones that you've racked up since then, and on top of that, just let us know what you got coming in the future. But before we get into all that, if you could give us like a elevator's pitch to who Miss Dollee is, could you do that for us this evening, please?
So let's see. I first off, I'm a believer in God. I am strong in my faith, in my walk with God, and then I like to call myself a content creator. I don't know if I'm that, but I create a lot of content, and I get a lot of positive feedback, sometimes negative, which I turn into positive later on. I am a mom, I am a teacher, I'm an educator, I'm a nanny. I find myself feeling like I'm a comedian because I like to make people laugh. Um, and I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, and I just, I am a person who is trying to make it to the top. I want to be on the television screen, and I want to have my own reality show. And like you said earlier, I want to have my star in the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. Like, I want all of that. So this is just a little piece of me that you're seeing on TikTok and on Instagram, and hopefully in the year to come or years to come, you'll see a whole lot more of me on the TV screen.
Gotcha. Also, you're doing all of this, and if I remember you telling me this, I think you're doing all this, and you're also like 5 foot nothing at the same time. So you're
Amen.
So she is not only she is standing tall to all this nonsense that y'all are putting in through, but she's standing tall with about 60 inches off the ground. So we just gonna have to clap her up for
61.
that. 61. My bad. 61.
Yeah, put that 1 inch in there. You gotta put that 1 inch in there, because that gives me a little like, oh, she's not 5 feet, she's 5'1". Yeah.
Absolutely. Put some respect and an inch on her name. Absolutely. I got you.
Absolutely.
My next question on my podcast this evening, and I'm not sure if you've ever actually seen like individual interviews I've had on here before, but I usually like to ask these like super intense questions on here to kind of let us know whether or not to like you or if you're cool or not. So are you ready for my next super intense question this evening, please?
Boy, okay, I'm ready.
All right. This will kind of let me know how much cooler you are than me. But my first super intense question on the Kid Casper podcast is, if you had to pick a favorite Disney princess, what favorite Disney princess would that be this evening by chance?
Tiana, hands down, Princess Tiana. Princess Tiana. I mean, that's the one that I can relate to myself. That's the one who I see myself in. That's, she came from nothing and became something. She wasn't born into royalty, so Princess Tiana, hands down.
Gotcha. It didn't bother you that she was a frog for most of the movie? Like, you could reconcile with that? Like, you got that still? I feel like no and yes, it did bother me, because none of the other princesses turned into, creatures or amphibians. But at the same time, we got to see her journey. We got to see, she became, even though she was a frog, she became something after the frog. She kind of conquered everything that she needed to conquer without being the princess, so I give her props, man. I feel like a frog sometimes, so I can relate. Gotcha. I don't even know what that means, but I'm pretty sure you will. I'm pretty sure you will explain that.
It means I'm always feeling froggy.
You gotta jump from. Yeah, I'm 6'3", so I mean, like, I can't relate at all to like what you're experiencing on that side of the earth. So I'll try to understand, considering I haven't been 5 feet since 15. I don't know. But anyway, so this would also. My next question is, this will kind of let me know, once again, how much cooler you are than me. And also let me know how old you are, I guess. So I'm 28, but I feel like my question will allow me to figure out how old you is or how young you is.
Okay.
My next question is, if you had to pick a starting 6 Pokemon set, I'm a nerd, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. If you had to select 6 Pokemon, what would your 6 Pokemon?
So I don't know Pokemon at all. My daughter just randomly, we went to like McDonald's a couple of months ago maybe, and they were like giving the Pokemon cards in the Happy Meal. So that is about my extent to knowing Pokemon. I did nanny a little boy who like loved Pokemon and was trying to play with me, and I was like trying to read the names, couldn't read the names. I was like, these are hard. I don't know how you're pronouncing them, but I can't even pronounce these names. But I only know maybe Pikachu. I know Charizard maybe is his name.
Ooh, no, not at all. This is about the equivalency to like when like white teachers enunciate like their like ethnic students' names. It's like, oh, that
exactly.
That
like,
was not it.
No, baby, no.
It's like, oh, you missed a syllable.
I don't know Pokemon at all.
Oh my good. Well, first off, that was painful. That and unfortunately you failed, but that also means that I guess that you're a lot cooler than me, so that's fine. I'll take that.
Okay.
If it makes you feel any better, if that makes you feel any better, like my partner can't name like anyone outside of Pikachu, so like I think that means that you passed to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'll try to sit alone and reconcile with that by myself, but that's fine. Anyway, but one of the reasons I wanted to have you on today is, obviously, like, I would like to say, even though you're 5 feet, I would like to say I look up to you in this space, as far as like social commentary, just taking the stances that you take, not only as a black woman, but as a woman of faith. And it shows up in a lot of different ways in your content and your stances. Also, I just don't really know you all too much. We shared a space last year where I had you on as like a a fellow panelist on my podcast, but you know, as I told you before we turned the live on, is that I always think it's better to just humanize these content creators, because who are you outside of making content? You know what I'm saying? So if you can kind of give us, you know, if you can go back as far as you remember to like the earliest stages of your development to who if I can, I gotta remember how to pronounce it right as the camera's on, who a young Zabriana is before Miss Dollee. Could you do that for us this evening, please?
So before I became Miss Dollee, I was all about basketball. You would not see me without a ball in my hand or without my hoop shoes. That's all that I knew. I ate, slept, breathed basketball. That was it. I'm a huge Warriors fan, huge Kobe Bryant fan. I think when I found out that he passed away, I was on my way back from Tahoe, and I found out when I was in the car, and I just started bawling because that was all that I knew growing up. You know, it was like Kobe Bryant, he started my whole basketball career. And so I started playing basketball when I was like, I think 6 years old, and got all the way to college, and was trying to go to the WNBA, but then I think I sold myself short. I told myself that I wasn't good enough to be in the WNBA, and kind of went from there, and then kind of just gave up. I think if I would have pursued it a little bit more, I think I could have, you know, made it to a couple of rounds maybe. But that's who I was. You know, I was just this basketball player. I always wanted to be an actress. I started acting when I was really, really young, just doing church plays and stuff like that. I never really done anything outside of church. I've been in the background of a couple of movies, but that's about it. And I know that when I was about 10 years old, I auditioned for a movie that Sandra Bullock was going to be in, and I got the lead role. And my mom said, you know, you can do this, but we're going to have to fly back and forth to LA like maybe once or twice a week. So it's either you're going to go all in with this acting thing or basketball. You have to make a choice. And so right then I chose basketball because I'm like, I can't give up basketball. As much as I love to act, and okay, sorry. My kids are like screaming in the background.
Hey, look,
As much
man,
as I love to
I was
act,
just, you're good, man. I was just trying to figure out what part of the animal kingdom that was for. I didn't know if
right?
it,
I'm like,
I didn't know if it
that's
was
not
your
it.
kids or my. I didn't know if it was your kids or my kid. So you're good, all good. All.
What's going on?
I will not be.
Crying at first, okay, but they're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to choose right then and there. You know, if I wanted to play basketball, or if I wanted to act, and I chose basketball. So that was me for, you know, the first 22 years of my life. And then with that, I became, you know, an educator, a teacher, a nanny, and I was doing all of that, and then got some awesome jobs becoming, you know, a teacher, and just going up the ladder from teaching to being a director to owning and running my own program. And then got into nannying because I was like, all right, I just want to work with a couple kids every single day and just see these kids every single day. And then now that I am a new mother again, and I'm on maternity leave, and I'm just thinking like, what else can I do? I've done everything that I wanted to do. I did basketball. You know, where can my acting now take me? So I'm starting to look into, you know, acting again, and hopefully I can land some gigs. You know, I did a couple background things, but it's not, background isn't, you know, what I want. I want to have a lead in a movie, and that leads to other leads in movies. So, you know, I want to be the next Gabrielle Union or Sanaa Lathan, but I want to be up there with them. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And then I do content, which I just got into when the pandemic started in 2020. I just started that, and didn't really think much of it because I was like, TikTok is for kids, and I'm never gonna get on it. And then I got on it, and I was like, oh wait, there's adults on here too. Oh wait, they're like, teaching you protein shakes or how to get a job. I was like, oh okay, maybe this could be fun, and then just ran with it. And now I have over 400,000 followers in a year and a half, and I never thought that I would have this many followers.
So
But I'm
I'm
here.
so I'm curious for about two things. One,
Yeah.
because I've always been interested to kind of like understand how people's rise took place, and I feel like a lot of us, especially as a people, not even just as people, but as a people, we all found ourselves during this time period in 2020. Like we're on lockdown. For some of us, we're not working or we're working from home, and then like the world's falling apart. On top of the fact that we're in a pandemic, but newsflash, we're black. So we're also living through a clandemic at the same time. Unfortunately, that since forget COVID-19, we got America 1619. But anyway,
Yep.
and
Sure do.
but one thing that I will say though, like if not for 2020, I feel like we all as a collective, as a people, we've discovered a part of ourselves that we never necessarily knew existed. Talk to me a little bit about what 2020 was for you, like that time period. Like you talked very briefly about what made you want to get on TikTok, but talk to me about how specifically like 2020 impacted your life moving forward since then.
Well, I think when 2020 hit, I was still teaching. I was a preschool teacher at a Jewish school in San Francisco. And, when the pandemic hit and stuff like that, I had to finish teaching my 12 preschoolers on Zoom for the last 3 months of school. So it was extremely difficult, but we were able to manage and get through it. And then I was just scared. I was scared to go out. I still have never gotten COVID, so I was scared to go out. I was scared to do things, and so I just started saying like, let me just let me make some videos. I always used to make videos in my house, in my bathroom, just dancing videos, just being silly, just being funny. So I was like, let me start doing that again, and let me start putting it on, I guess, TikTok. And then I started putting that stuff on TikTok. Didn't really work, right? They're like, who is this girl? She thinks she's funny. She's not funny. Get out of here. So I was like, okay, great. And then that's when I got a lot of the interesting racist comments, and I was like, I don't understand this. Is this really how it's gonna be? Like, everybody's just gonna be racist to black people on here? Oh yeah, this is kind of how it is. So once people started doing that, I started to clap back, and that's when I made the hashtag Queen of Petty Clapback, and that's when I got my hashtag. I was the first one to use that hashtag, and now it has over like 190 million views. But I was like, let me just start clapping back at these people who, think that they're going to try to hurt me because I'm black and they want to be racist. Because I'm telling you, I've heard every name under the sun, and baby, you're not getting me down. Like, there's nothing that you could say or do to get me down, but I'll make fun of you and I'll make people laugh in the process. Um, so that's kind of where I was in 2020. And then I was like, I don't want to go back to teaching because I'm still scared of COVID. So let me just homeschool some kids. So parents reached out to me. They're like, hey, I have an extra room in my house. Do you want to homeschool a couple kids here? You can turn the room into your own classroom. And I was like, bet, done. So that's what I did. And then I also just did clapbacks on people, and that's where I was in 2020. And then 2021 and 2022 is when I started to do reaction videos. to different kinds of foods or nasty foods or cute animal videos or scary animal videos. It was me reacting to everything, and people were just like, "Oh my gosh, I love your reactions. You're just so great. You say everything with your eyes without saying anything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great." And then that started to take off. So I do reacting to videos now, as well as still clapping back on the people who need to be clapped at. But yeah, that's where I am.
So, one thing that, like I said, I think it's very interesting how like we've all had to kind of like find this new thing about ourselves to not only entertain other people. Like you said, you hit like 190 million views on this one hashtag that you kind of like mothered, we'll say that. But you know, you've also like going back to like having to discover yourself, you've also had to maintain and nurture yourself. Like you say yourself, like you said yourself, like, you know, you were very scared of this pandemic. If I remember correctly, I don't feel like y'all even shut down in California for some odd reason. Like y'all been like, I mean, what's a pandemic? Like, did you though? I mean, did you?
Yeah.
But like
we shut down, but then there was you still had that group of people who were like, "This isn't real. I'm still going out," and then they would go out, and then they would get sick, and they're like, "Well, it's just pneumonia," and then it wouldn't be pneumonia, and it'd be COVID, and so I'm like, that's what you get for going out and thinking that you won't go get it. So you know, do. But we did shut down for a little bit. You know, we had to do the mask mandate for a while. I still sometimes put on my mask when I go to the grocery store and stuff like that, because the one thing that I liked about the pandemic, and this is really weird to say, but yes, I did like the pandemic for this specific reason, was the 6 feet. People gave you your space. And before then, people didn't do that. Like, if you're at the grocery store and you're standing in line, I had a person, like, right here, like, as if we were together. And I'm like, oh, no, you need to back up. You really need to back up. And then since, you know, the mask mandate has been lifted off, some people think that, oh, you know, we still get to be very close to you. And I'm like, no, back up. I need my 6 feet. Like, I'm always going to need my 6 feet now. So I make it a point to get my 6 feet. And if you're not 6 feet away from me, I will make you really uncomfortable. I will turn around and I will let you know. And if you don't move, I will take my phone out and I will videotape you. Like, so you're not going to get my 6 feet. I'm going to videotape you. Until you
see, you're polite. I'll fart. I'll just fart. I'll be like, you want to... I said, if you can smell this, you too close. Like, I'll do that with the swiftness.
If I could fart on cue, I think I'd do that. But I can't... It's hard for me to fart on cue.
Real quick, black beans and coffee, and I'd be like, I'll bite my lip when I do it. You will back up. Shoot. Like... But, one of the things that I was curious about, and you know, I don't think this is talked about enough, is like the effect that like the pandemic has had on us. How do you manage the emotional and mental Olympics that go into like navigating during this time? Because as I said before, you know, like as people, we're all touched by this pandemic. But as a people, like we're having to combat 2 different things that come against our bodies. We're having to combat, well, actually, for you, I'll even say this, for like 3 different things that you got to come up against, because you know you're having to deal with a pandemic, you're having to deal with racism, and then you're also a woman in this society. How do you manage your mental health, having to come against a system that is racism, a system that is misogyny, and essentially this pandemic? Like, how do you manage all of that mentally during this time?
I think a lot of it has to do with my circle. And when I say my circle, I mean the 3 girlfriends that I have. Before the pandemic, it was us going out all the time. And it wasn't like, you know, we party until 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. But it's like, you know, we go get a drink, we go get some wine, or, you know, we occasionally would go to the club, but then when the pandemic hit, that stopped, completely stopped, and so we haven't been out in a while. And when we do go out, it's still like, I still get nervous. So I was FaceTiming my best friends every single day. And then I would see them, but we would kind of still stay separate. Like, we would meet up at places, but we would all just stay in our cars, and we would kind of talk to each other through our cars. And that would be my sanity. Was just living through them. And my daughter, of course. I got to, well, my oldest Marley, because Milo isn't here yet. But when the pandemic hit, it was a lot of mommy daughter time, a lot. So I got to kind of see another side of her that I have never seen before. And in the process, she got to see a side of me that she's never seen before. She always sees me making videos. She always sees me doing something on the camera or on my phone. And because she's seen that, she'll go to her room and she'll be like, all right, hey guys, so today we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So she's like mimicking me, and she's like, Mom, I want my own YouTube channel. I need my own YouTube channel. I think I have some fans and some followers. And I'm like, girl, you ain't got no fans and no followers. But it's cute, like she we gotta get her a YouTube channel. We gotta get her one quick, because there's so many kids out there that that just play with toys on YouTube and make millions of views and hundreds of thousands of dollars just from playing with toys. And I'm like, why are you sitting here watching them play with the toys when you can play with the toys yourself? Like, I don't get it. But I'm like, let's get you on film or something like that. So it was just a lot of hanging out, with my daughter, with my family, with my friends, and that kind of kept me sane for the most part. My best friend is getting married in November, so she wants to do her bachelorette party in Vegas at the end of October, and I am scared for my life. Like, I used to love Vegas. I used to, yes, Vegas, here we come. And now I'm dreading it, because I don't want to get COVID. I don't want to come back. If I come back with COVID, it's like I can't see my baby for a while, and she's still breastfeeding. So I'm like, how can we go to Vegas and have the best time of our lives, but also be super, super safe? So it's a lot right now.
I feel that. It's I still struggle with that to this day, on top of the fact that, like, I've had to see a lot of people affected and die to this virus, and it's just like, I don't really want to deal with that right now. Like, I can't, I don't want to get sick, because who gonna come and see me? That's one. And two, right. It's, am I gonna be able to see the people that I love and care about? You know what I'm saying? And yeah. I don't think people know, like, how much that really plays, takes a toll on you. So I definitely understand that, especially for you being a mother, and then being a very, I would say, a mom times two, just recently. It's that's a lot to, like, consider. And then just for yourself, like, just remove your kids for a second. It's just like, bro, I don't want to get sick. This shit sounds awful. Right. So it's a lot to keep mind of, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So something that I'm also curious about, and I don't think okay, I'm gonna find a delicate way to navigate through this, because okay, we'll see how this lands. So we'll just rip the Band-Aid off. But you and me talked about this before we went live, and I think that this is I think this is important, and especially given the time period that we're in, with most recently with, like, Roe versus Wade, and the attack on women's bodies. Essentially, you just recently had a child, and as a Black woman in this society, how does and in some degree, I am just curious, and during this time, is like, how does, I would say, like, the time period that we live in now, like, affect one that you, like, I would say, like, have to mother your kids, but then, like, also look at yourself. Like, do you always have to, I'm curious, like, do you always go through this back and forth within yourself? In I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like, do you find yourself humanizing yourself to how America humanizes you, or how Miss Dollee humanizes you? That's a question that I wanted to ask a lot of, like, especially the black women in my life, because this is a really weird time for you guys. So I'm curious, like, what your thoughts are during this time period.
That's a good question. I think maybe how Miss Dollee humanizes myself. It's, when I had my baby earlier this year in late March, there was, we're still in the pandemic, so a lot of my family members haven't really gotten to meet my youngest daughter still, and I am nervous for them to even get around to meet her, because I still have a lot of my family members who don't believe that COVID is real, who don't believe the vaccine is real, so they won't get vaccinated. And I am vaccinated, and I don't judge anybody. If you want to get vaccinated, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool. But I still have a lot of my family members who are like, no, I don't want to get vaccinated because we're black people, and black people don't get vaccinated because of all the stuff that happened in the past. And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. But on the other hand, the reason that I got vaccinated is because I'm around all these kids all the time. I'm around new kids, parents, and stuff like that. So I chose to get vaccinated because I chose to get vaccinated. Nobody forced me into it. It was just something that I thought that I had to do, and I was comfortable with doing it. I also have a 83-year-old grandpa who lives with my mom at home. So it's like, I want to make sure that he's safe. He's a diabetic. So he is my top priority. I would never want to come to his house and pass COVID on to him, And he did get COVID. Him and my mom got COVID maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, but they had mild symptoms. Everybody was fine. My daughter even got it. Her dad got it. And everybody was fine. But it was like, in this time, I'm around a lot of my family members. A lot of my family members live around me or in the area. So we were always meeting up for, Thanksgiving. We would have 80 to 100 people, at our family gatherings. So it's kind of sad because we don't have big family gatherings anymore, and it's because of COVID that we don't have it. And because of COVID, not many of my family members have met my youngest daughter. They've seen a lot of pictures of her because I love showing her in, our family text messages or Facebook or whatever. But it's kind of sad, the world that, we live in right now. We still have to be careful. And it's like, when are we going to get out of this phase? I'm so ready to get out of this phase. But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now.
I feel that. I think, like, another thing that it's just scary too. It's just the lack of care that people have for one another, and it's the people not taking the time to understand. Like, everybody has different love languages. Like, some people, it's affirmation, physical touch, quality time, blase, 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 blah. Social settings where you need to, like, not feel isolated and be around people that make you feel alive to some degree. Like, I think you touched on with your friends, like, just being able to have your friends around gave you a sense of security. But now, right, like, it's not really there nowadays. And then on top of that, with I would say the hectic times we're in right now, it's like, how many safe spaces do we have with people that we used to be so comfortable with? and whether it's this pandemic, whether it's a difference in opinion politically, difference in opinion on human rights, and you're always having to kind of, I would say, like, keep track of all those things. And I'm like, I just wanted, like, one, say, like, I'm sorry, because I know that has to be exhausting. One, as a mom, and two, just as a person in general. Like, good God, like,
It is, because I felt like, and even after the pandemic or during the pandemic or whatever, when all that police stuff again started happening, I started seeing different sides of people, like, on Facebook that I never really knew. And there are people like, I stand with the police even after all they do. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I thought we were friends, what do you mean you stand with the police? How do you stand with the police, but also have my back, So there were, I think, maybe 10 people that I had to just cut loose. And I was like, nah, we're not friends no more. And that's okay. That's okay. Because, you're showing me your true colors, I'm understanding who you are. And if I didn't know this about you then, now I know it now. So goodbye. I won't miss you. I'm sure you won't miss me. It is what it is. So it's, yeah, this time period has made me realize a lot of things. People who are really down for me, and just black people in general, and people who are not, and then I still had friends who were out of state, checking up on me, and that's what I truly appreciated. They would send me a text, or they would call me and be like, hey, are you okay? I just want to check in with you. How you feeling? You good? You need anything? I'm here if you ever want to talk. And I was like, I really appreciate that. Thank you for your support. So yeah, these are some weird times, and I'm definitely not ever gonna forget them. They're always gonna be here.
mm-hmm.
And even with my oldest daughter, I mean, she's a light bright, but she's 75% black and a quarter white. But she looks really, really, really light. So a lot of her classmates are like, "What? You're black? What? What?" And then some of the classmates will be like, "Oh, policemen don't like black people," and I'm just like, "Where? Like, yes, that's true, but like, how are you? This is crazy."
Why do
So
we
it's like I gotta like
learn your letters? Not why
reach.
do we talk about this, like, right at this?
Like, why are
Oh
you
my,
saying this to my kid? Like,
oh my God.
oh my gosh. So like, I have to like retrain her, and tell her like, yes, you are a black woman, even though you're very light. You are a black woman. Don't let anybody tell you differently, because you are black. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for other people. Don't let anybody bully you. This, that, and the third. So it's it is what it is. But I feel like we're gonna get through it. I feel like we're gonna get through it. And if we don't, then a war's coming, and I'm ready. I'm strapped with the bow and arrow in the trunk. So it is what it is.
How are you gonna get to the trunk? How are you gonna get to the trunk from, like, Dollee? Stop it, Dollee. Okay, all right. We'll
just
talk
saying,
about.
I'm ready. I stayed ready.
Way. If you had to, with all that we've kind of talked about, if you had to, if there's one thing that you could take away from, like, this time period, from like 2020 to now, that you could take away and be like, you know what, I learned this from this time period, and I will forever be changed for the better, what would that one thing be during this time?
Probably, I learned, like I said earlier, like, who's really here for me. I learned who really has my back. I learned who is really going to support me, who's going to be there for me if I need anything. And I learned, who's not going to be there, and who's not going to support me. I also learned that, police officers are essentially the bad guys, but not all of them are bad. I used to work at a camp called Camp Chance, and it was with cops and at-risk youth. And the cops were, I mean, sometimes they would come in their uniforms and they would do presentations, like the SWAT team would come in, or they would have the helicopter, or the, rescue team, they would come in. And then sometimes the cops were like big, huge campers. And you would have to tell them, hey, stop. I see you're over there throwing food at the other kids. Like, you need to stop. So sometimes they were big kids. And I'm friends with all of them. They all are very passionate, and they're all trying to change the system. Some of them are trying to change the system that they're in, and I'm just like, I appreciate you so much, but at the same time, it's, we got to wean out all the bad ones. So it's like, I see that you guys are trying to change, but we got to do better. We have to do better. We can't just say, oh, I want to make a change, and that's it. You got to actually do the change. You gotta put forth some kind of effort into making a change. So yeah, I would say that.
Gotcha. I know I gotta get you out of here soon, so are you ready for some quick hitters where I pretty much ask you, like, not so deep questions. These will kind of be like a lot lighter, and this will kind of let me decide if I like you or not. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good person. I don't know if I'll add you to my top 8 on MySpace or something. Do they still have MySpace around?
Not the MySpace.
Where you get to download my playlist, and I'll tell you where I got my background from and all that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, are you ready for the quick hitters, my sister?
I am ready.
All right. If we're talking about chicken, hopefully you are not a vegetarian. If we're talking about chicken, are we going with flats or drums?
So here's the thing about chicken.
Jesus, this is already bad.
It might be bad already. Here's the thing about chicken.
Okay.
I like chicken, but I don't eat chicken off of a bone. And here's why.
Why are you are the fourth person to say this to me? Why? I don't.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. I'm so happy you said that, because many people don't say that, and many people look at me like, "Oh, she's so weird. You're not really black if you don't like chicken."
No, you're not weird. Like, it's just I don't know if I like you as much anymore. But like, it's just
like chicken strips are good. Maybe chicken breast. But I don't. Tearing the meat off of the bone and seeing the blood and the veins, to me, it's just, no, I'm not having it. I don't want it. I don't like it at all. When I was younger, my grandma, rest in peace to my grandma, she used to cut the chicken off the bone for me, and I could eat it like that, but I just cannot. You will never see me put a chicken bone in my mouth and just, nope, that's not me. I've never been. No, never will I ever. No.
Okay. All right. So.
But I like chicken.
I am judging you with my eyes and my eyebrows now. This is. Wow. Okay, that's highly disappointing. That is wow. Okay. So if we had to pick, we'll just move away from chicken for a second, so I don't our ancestors don't judge you. Yeah, you, not me. If you had to pick pancakes or waffles, what we rocking with?
Ooh, that is hard, but ultimately I would probably go with waffles. There's a good, at this restaurant down the street, there's a good churro waffle that I always rock with, and it's just absolutely delicious. Now, don't get me wrong, at Black Bear Diner, they do have the cinnamon roll pancakes, and I be smashing 4 or 5 of them. Don't get me wrong, but I would have to say the waffles, just because I like making waffles too.
All right. Okay, this will be kind of controversial. We'll see how much people like you afterwards, but we'll see how this goes.
You guys, hey,
yeah, Absolutely. This will, like I said, this will kind of just give people an idea. Let's go to music real quick. So if we had to pick between sonically, just like music wise, between Solange or the artist named Her, who we rocking with?
I would say Her. I say Her.
All right.
Her. She's from the Bay Area. I love her style. I love how her fashion. I love her voice. I love the way she handles herself. I would just have to say Her. When I look at Solange, she cool, shy, but to me, I'm just like, oh, that's Beyonce's little sister. That's Beyonce's little sister. Oh, that's Beyonce's little sister.
Wow.
But she cool. But I'm gonna say Her. I'm gonna rock with Her, just because Her is, she's a Bay Area native, and that's what I am. So.
Okay. We're gonna stay on music for a second. Missy Elliott or Janet Jackson?
Ooh. I would think Janet. I think I'd have to go with Janet.
Okay.
I love Janet Jackson. I love Michael. I think I would rock with Janet. Missy, that's my dog. Don't get me wrong. That's my girl. And I like what she produces too. She's great. But I think I would say Janet.
Okay. All right. We're talking about. I just got broken up with. I am sad. I need you. You ain't having chicken wings. You having like chili and cornbread because you're weird. But like I'm listening to R&B on a Saturday night and it's raining, and I got dressed up to go nowhere on a Saturday. Who we listening to? Keisha Cole or Jasmine Sullivan? Who we rocking with?
Jasmine.
Okay.
Off top. Keisha, she cool, but she can't blow like Jasmine can blow. Jasmine can blow. Yeah. Keisha, she tried. And she does well sometimes, but I mean, I think I watched her what was that? Her verses, and I don't know if she was drunk or she was high or I don't know what happened, but she didn't have it all together. So I'm gonna say Jasmine for sure.
Okay. All right. I feel like this will kind of get me in trouble. But there's not really supposed to be there's too much division in the black community. I feel like this is just making it worse. If you had to pick between Genuine and Tyrese, who you rocking with?
Genuine. I'm gonna say the only reason I say Genuine is because Tyrese with his acting is difficult. It's difficult for me to be convinced that he is acting because he really can't. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stick with Genuine.
Oh man. Okay. Pharrell or Kanye?
Okay. So if we're talking albums, like Kanye, College Dropout, and that's it. But overall, Pharrell, just because Kanye, I don't know what happened to Kanye. Kanye is spiraling, and I don't know if we can get him back.
Kanye West or Kanye Kardashian? There is a difference. I'll say it so you don't have to say it. Kanye West or Kanye Kardashian? Which one we talking about?
Kanye Kardashian, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Have you seen his recent interview? He looked like a black version of them people that stormed the Capitol. I don't know what is going on with him.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, what
who is this man?
I was like, is that Kimbo Slice? Who is this?
Yeah. I was like, what's going on here, bud? You all right? You okay?
Oh my gosh.
Need some water?
I don't know. It looked like, I know there's some food that get caught up in that beer, but I'm gonna leave that man alone. Okay, All right, now let's go to Thanksgiving real quick. Mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes? There's a huge difference. What you rocking with?
Probably the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Probably sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Because I love me some sweet potato pie too. So.
Okay. Mac and cheese or collard greens? You gotta pick between the two. Sorry.
Ah, that's so hard. How do you choose between those two? Oh my gosh. Back then, I would say mac and cheese, but now probably collard greens.
See, somebody asked me. I asked the same question to somebody, and they were like, "You know how horrible that is to ask somebody in our lineage as a people. Like, can you imagine that during when we were trying to run to liberation? It's like, which one did you want to wait on? The mac and cheese or the greens?
Exactly. Or like, the collard greens.
And one of them you had to soak overnight just so, and the other one you had to bake in the oven for like 8 hours. So it's like, which one did Harriet struggle with? It's
right.
Oh.
Here goes my crying.
All goody. Oh, I'll get you out of here soon. I got 2 more questions for you. So, hi, babies. My second to last question is, if you were having dinner with 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, who would you be having dinner with, and what y'all eating for dinner this evening? Hi, babies.
Oh. Who would I be having dinner with?
Oh, look at her big old eyes. Oh, she's beautiful.
My twin.
She does have. She does have your eyes. My gosh.
Thank you. I'd probably say Michael, hands down, number 1. You said 5, right?
You got 5, dead or alive, my sister.
5, dead or alive. Oh, okay. So Michael for sure. Let's see. Tupac for sure. He was around my family. He grew up with my family. My uncle was his best friend, and he had a huge crush on my mom. Tried to get with my mom. Tried to be with my mom, and I was only around him for a couple of times, so I only remember one vague memory of him. But I would love to actually meet him as an adult. So definitely Pac. Who else? Oh, you're okay. You're all right.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite rapper right now is Logic. So I definitely have to bring boy Logic. And let's put a couple women in there. Or not. Let's just stick with men. Definitely Obama, because I mean, it's Obama. And then one more, I'd probably say my daughter is whispering to me Bob Marley.
Bob Marley?
I probably might do Clay Thompson, just because I love Clay Thompson.
Gotcha.
And we would probably eat soul food. You know, I would have my granny, who is not alive. I would have her whip it up, and she would make the bombest soul food ever. It would be so amazing. It would be so great. I would love it. So probably that.
That's funny. And my last question on the Kid Casper podcast is, if you had to see anybody you would like to see on here, for me to have a dialogue with, who would it be? But your answer's got to be somebody you can get on here, essentially. So since it's season 3, you have to give me 3 suggestions of people you can get on here, basically.
People I can get on there, or you can get on there? You
can get on here. Like, people that you would love to see me talk to on here, basically.
Okay. So there is this TikToker, and his name is Joshua O'Neal. He lives in the Bay Area. He lives like maybe 30 minutes away from where I live. Just hit 1 million followers. Very funny. He's an actor. He's trying to go far. I would love to see him on here. I would love to pick out his brain too. Another one, she's also on TikTok. Her name is The Lunch Lawyer, I think it is. Or Luncheon Lawyer, maybe, or The Lunch Lawyer.
Interesting.
She every time she talks, I'm just like, I'm listening. Like, what do you have to say? It's amazing. It's great. It's wonderful. But she's a lawyer, and she's always giving out great advice. She's always making these great conclusions and these great points. And then another one, let's see. How about I Am Sue? He's a family friend of mine. Our moms grew up together. They're best friends. They go traveling around the world together. So we always see each other in passing, but we never really do anything. And I was thinking that he'd be great to pick out his brain too, just to see what he's doing, where he's at. I know he's making a lot of music right now. So yeah, probably I Am Sue.
All right. First off, thank you, my sister. This was dope. I'm happy we were finally able to do this.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. And if you got any other future projects or anything, campaigns, causes, or awarenesses that you would want us to like kind of pay attention to, or to spotlight during this time, the screen is yours. If you want to talk, you'll talk about them. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. All I can say is, follow my journey on TikTok. See, what I'm going to be doing next. I have a couple projects coming in the works in about a couple weeks. Just some brands that I'm going to be working for. So some videos and some clips that I have to make. But hopefully, I'll get my bigger brand deals very soon, and hopefully I'll land my own reality TV show and hopefully be on that big screen. So you guys follow my TikTok. I'm not on Instagram as much, but I'm going to be. That's what I told myself like the last month. Like, you need to start posting more on Instagram. You need to start posting more on your YouTube. So I'm gonna start doing all that, so you guys can really follow my journey, see where I'm at, see where I'm going. Yeah, exactly.
Facts. What she said.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. But yeah, this was good. Thank you, sister. This was great. Well, I'll have to have you back on here when we're discussing a very hot topics, very spicy situations that are coming on here. But yeah, this was good.
Yeah, please.
I gotta have you for that, right? Mama have to have you two on, little mama. Shoot, I mean, like, you might as well. I mean,
right.
Absolutely. But thank you everybody for tuning in today. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the conversation. Hopefully you were able to learn a little something, or I'll say little something because my sister's 5'1". She's 61 inches. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's important. That's important. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talk to her for respect and give her extra inch. You know what I'm saying? So thank you everybody for tuning in today. Always remember, you are beautiful, blessed, and beloved. Raisins still don't go in potato salad. Question, my sister, would you ever eat mayonnaise on your peas by chance?
I don't eat mayonnaise, so nope.
Nope. No. Okay. How about avocados and condensed milk with crushed ice? Are you rocking with that?
Nope. Not at all. Nope.
Interesting.
Doesn't sound pleasant. No.
Doesn't sound pleasant.
Not at all.
And raisins still don't go in potato salad, and Jesus wasn't white. Do me a favor. Have a good night now.